Good morning, YouTube friends. Thanks so much for coming by and welcome to another episode of the Untamed Olive. I hope that your holiday season is going super well. It's getting crazy around here. I have so many holiday parties to go to. I'm sure you've got a ton going on too. So I thought I would share with you some super simple appetizer recipes that you can take to those parties you're going to. A lot of the ingredients hopefully are already in your pantry, so it can save you a little bit of money as well. In addition to those super simple appetizer recipes, I thought I'd do a little experiment today. I got these incredibly extravagant dried lobster mushrooms that I want to try to turn into a seafood style dip to go with some homemade crackers and other things that I'm going to make for my pantry. So if you want to see how to do that and get some really great appetizer ideas, keep on watching. Alrighty guys, these little dried up goodies are the star of our appetizer show here. These are dried lobster mushrooms. They even look a bit like lobster mushrooms, not even rehydrated. I had to find them dry. I couldn't find them fresh at all. Looked online everywhere. I ended up getting these on Amazon for $15 for 4 ounces. So they're a little spendy. So a dip is the way we're gonna go. They do have a bit of a seafood flavor to them as well though, so that's why I really wanted to try to make a dip out of these. I am just rehydrating them in some boiling water with about 2 tablespoons of vegan butter because I just really want to get that succulent, juicy lobster texture and flavor going on. I'm also going to add a heaping teaspoon of Old Bay seasoning. That's going to add to our seafood flavor, and we're going to hydrate these for about a half an hour. I feel like this is kind of like some sort of vegan voodoo magic. These already look like lobster to me. It's crazy. I'm going to insert a photo of what a fresh lobster mushroom looks like just so you guys can get some perspective. And I've been trying to figure out how to forage for these. I'm not sure if they grow in Utah. They're definitely northwest and back east, kind of where it's more moist and green, but I'll keep you posted on that one because I would love to find these in Utah. So while our mushrooms are rehydrating, I've just sauteed a small shallot and 3 cloves of garlic, and once our mushrooms are hydrated, look how beautiful they are. I'm dumping them into the saute pan because we're going to get them even more buttery. See how nice and succulent they're already looking? This is incredible. I think we're doing good, guys. We're just going to saute these guys up for a little bit, let them soak in some of that butter. I am going to go through with my fingers and kind of break apart any big giant pieces so we can get a little bit more uniform chunks of the lobster mushroom. I've also found like that little dude, he doesn't look as appetizing to me, and he didn't really soak up much liquid, so I'm getting rid of him. And we're going to saute these up just for a bit. We don't want them to dry out necessarily. I'm also going to season these like crazy. I've got some pink sea salt, these kelp granules, which will also aid in the seafood-like flavor. I'll leave the amounts that I used below. Also a really good source of iodine, so we're getting a little bit healthy around here as well, even though this is going to be chock full of vegan cream cheese. I'm also adding some more Old Bay because we did wash some of that out when we drained our mushrooms. Also some black pepper. I am seasoning, that's not a word. I'm also seasoning pretty heavily, that's garlic powder, because I'm going to be adding some creaminess to it, and this is where all the flavor is going to come from. So I'm adding just a bit of that mushroom liquid at the end here to let it soak in. We don't want anything to dry out. I want this to be super juicy before we add it to any of the cream cheese mixture. So I've turned off the heat. I'm just letting these soak up a little bit while we get the rest of our dip assembled here. Okay, now in a separate bowl, I have got 8 ounces of plant-based cream cheese. I haven't tried this brand. It's an organic brand from Smith's Marketplace, and I've heard really good things about them, so I'm giving them a shot. They're on sale. So I've got 8 ounces of the cream cheese and 8 ounces of the sour cream, and now I'm going to add our mushrooms that are still a bit warm, which is going to be helpful. It'll help everything mix together really well. I'm just going to mix it together with the spatula and give it a taste, and this is where you kind of do you and decide what's going to help the flavor. I decided that a bit of nutritional yeast was not a bad idea, as well as a little bit more kelp. It's going to give us kind of like a cheesy Parmesan flavor. I also added some fresh green onions, about 5 green onions, and I reserved a bit for garnish here. Keep tasting until it tastes perfect to you. I feel like this flavor combination is at a really good point, so I'm going to transfer it into another bowl and we're going to chill it out in the fridge while we assemble our other appetizer ingredients. Also going to garnish with some fresh green onion, like I said, to brighten everything up a little bit. And what's a good seafood dip without some amazing crackers, right? You can totally go to the store, buy your own crackers, but I had all these ingredients in my pantry to make these super simple seeded flax crackers, so I thought I'd put them together really quick. It's super simple. You just have some flour. I'm using gluten-free here, but you can use all-purpose, and equal parts chia seeds, hemp seeds, and flax seeds. You can use whatever seeds you have on hand. You can even add nuts in. This recipe is super versatile. I'm glugging in about 1/4 cup of olive oil. We're going to stir it and add in water about a tablespoon or 2 at a time until a dough forms. Once we have our dough, we're going to press it as thin as we can onto some parchment paper and cook it in the oven at about 300 degrees for about 50 minutes, flipping them over halfway through so they get nice and crispy. And then we've got some amazing crackers. This really adds to our platter. It's going to look really beautiful. So that's what the dough looks like. We're pressed out here and we're going to pop it in the oven. Okay, and while these are baking away, I'm going to make a super simple sweet dip here with our plant-based cream cheese as well. I'm just adding a bit of honey and vanilla and cinnamon, stirring it around until it's nice and mixed up. And then I'm going to top it with some candied nuts. I started with walnuts, which would be really delicious, and I burnt them. So be really careful when you're multitasking in the kitchen. Nuts toast up super quick. As soon as you start to smell them, you can turn off your heat, keep them moving. Now that I'm smelling them a little bit, I am adding a bit of honey to get a glaze on there. We're going to top our dip with that. And all these ingredients that I have here were either in my pantry or a nice little hack that I have found. If you go to your grocery store, especially Smith's Marketplace, if you have them where you live, there are sections where they put produce that's either about to go or just has a couple bruises. And I got all these cucumbers, the lemon, the grapefruit, and apples for $1 a bag. So super awesome way to spend a little bit less money and make your appetizer platter look really, really beautiful. So we've got our flax crackers here that I've baked off. I've broken them into different shapes. I've got some edamame that was in my freezer. I steamed it up and added some salt to it. And now I'm just assembling and putting piles of things everywhere. It's a technical term. Just trying to make it look pretty, keep different colors, throughout the platter. We've got our grapefruit on one side and our plum jam, which is right there. If I didn't mention that before, I've got a video on that I'm going to put out. These are plums from our trees in the backyard, which is so awesome. I've got some mixed nuts underneath. I added some red pepper that were in my fridge. There's our dip again, and lots of reds and greens here. It's a really easy way to class up a appetizer platter. This really took minimal work and minimal money, and it looks really good. And I think everyone in my family is going to really enjoy it at the party that I'm going to tonight. Okay guys, our lobster mushroom seafood dip has been chilling out in the fridge while we assemble the rest of our charcuterie board. I have got the perfect little bite here. Gonna give it a try. Wow. Wow, it's so good. Sorry, my mouth is full. I was debating doing a hot dip or a cold dip, and I think I picked the right thing. With it being cold, all those flavors are like melding together. I actually think you can make this the night before and let the flavors get even better. It's gonna get better as it sits. That lobster is super tender. The lobster mushroom, super tender. It's just gonna get better. So if you're super busy like I am during the holiday season, you can make this the night before, let it chill out, pop it out when you're ready for it the next day or within the next couple days. I'm super stoked. The rest of our board looks amazing. I so appreciate you guys watching. You should really give this a try. it is worth it. If you're craving anything a little bit seafood and extravagant for the holidays, I feel like it's worth the small investment in the mushrooms. I'm gonna try my hardest to not eat the rest of this dip before the party I have to go to tonight. I hope that you give this a shot. If you do, let me know in the comments below what you think. It is worth it, I'm telling you. And I hope the rest of these little appetizer ideas are helpful for you as well. And have a wonderful holiday season. I will talk to you soon. Cheers. Just want to give you guys a little bit of a bonus update here. My family and friends ate this entire bowl of dip. It was such a hit. I'm so stoked. I really hope you give it a try. Don't forget to subscribe, like, tell your friends. Thank you again so much for watching. Happy holidays, guys. Cheers.